On the docket tonight, brand new case coming to Court TV involving a man who collected and I guess sold and traded a very valuable reptiles, but he's now charged with murder. Matt Johnson has more.
On the night of October 19, 2020, Riley Menente Powell was stopped by his mother, Tiffany Powell, and her boyfriend, William Bill Zelenski, as he walked down the street in Waupaca, Wisconsin. They suspected that he burglarized their home and stole several exotic reptiles. During the confrontation, a fight ensued, and shortly after, the 18-year-old was shot and killed. 43-year-old William Zelenski was owner of Wild Bill's Exotics at the time. His company's Facebook page features numerous pictures of him handling snakes, lizards, and alligators. According to court documents, when Zelenski's home was burglarized, 2 guns, some alcohol, and several high-dollar reptiles were stolen, including a lizard worth $17,000, a crocodile worth $2,000, and a baby Burmese python valued at $7,000. Before the shooting, Zelenski called 911 to report that he suspected Riley and his friend Ashton Toady were the thieves. Later that day, Zelenski and Tiffany Powell went to recover the stolen reptiles and ran into Riley. Police say ring camera video shows Zelenski with a shotgun as he and Tiffany Powell confront her son on the street. At one point, Zelenski is seen handing the loaded gun to Tiffany, ordering her to point it at her unarmed son. Tiffany eventually gives the gun back to her boyfriend, while Riley is seen yelling at Zelenski to put the gun down and fight like a man. At approximately 10 p.m., a neighbor hears a gunshot and runs outside, where Riley Powell is on the ground, bleeding profusely. The victim's mother was still in the truck with her boyfriend. Neither one attempted to render any aid. Riley Powell was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Last December, Tiffany Powell pleaded no contest to multiple charges stemming from the incident, including holding her son at gunpoint before her boyfriend shot and killed him. Powell was sentenced to 15 years in prison. According to court documents, she is expected to be a witness for the defense. Meanwhile, William Zelenski has pleaded not guilty to a charge of first-degree intentional homicide for the death of Riley Menente Powell. His attorneys have asked the court to allow evidence of a burglary to be introduced during the trial. Zelenski faces up to life in prison if convicted.
A little strange, the fact pattern with the mother there, and she's going to testify for the defense, and what exactly happened here with these reptiles. Let's bring in our think tank, Ekta Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, Nima Rahmani. Nima, what's your analysis of this case? This is a little different than the rest of them.
Yeah, very strange case here. Obviously, the reptiles, of course, but you got another Wisconsin self-defense case. Obviously, that doorbell camera is going to be huge here. We haven't seen it, but I think that's going to be make or break it. And yeah, you have the victim's mother who's siding with the defendant, the boyfriend, giving him the gun, being sentenced. Sounds like she's going to be a witness for him. You have another individual who was involved in the theft that he's already pled guilty to stealing these reptiles, and he's been sentenced to probation. So, you know, these self-defense cases involving unarmed individuals, these are really tough. The defendants likely have to take the stand. I know, obviously, we had Rittenhouse there in Wisconsin, but I think this is going to be a very difficult case for the defense to win.
Kirk, what do you think about Mom's role in this case, her role in the shooting, and her role at the trial?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting, but I definitely think Nima hit the nail on the head when we talk about the tape, because one thing, we could have witnesses with biases and things of that nature, but here we have a tape of this confrontation, and that's really going to go a long way with the jury. But I think when you have the mother helping to do this, the killing of her own son, I don't think she's going to have a lot of credibility. You know, I think this is going to be one of those cases, you heard me say before, Vinny, that it's a long-form guilty plea. It has shades of Lindley Rennick, you know, the snake breeder murder trial. It was covered on Court TV a while back. There's something about this genre, and I think people are going to see right through any attempts at defense, any attempts at self-defense, and I think Mr. Zelenski is probably going to find himself behind bars, convicted of first-degree murder.
Eklund, seems like he may have to take the stand to give his version of what happened unless the victim's mother will fill that role to try to provide the testimony to help this self-defense defense?
From the Superman swirl, I can tell he's going to want to testify. I think that it's going to be very colorful testimony. However, he lost once he got into the car, and once he traded the gun and with the mother, and it got back into his hand, he lost all types of manslaughter. So I mean, he had a manslaughter case if he'd have went like straight to the home, but because there was so much that happened in between, I don't see a self-defense. Of course, the self-defense is not going to work, but convincing a client that feels that they are righteously justified in their actions is so hard. And he looks like he's probably a really difficult client to work with. So I'm curious to see what the defense is going to be able to do with his testimony, because he looks like he's going to give a problem. He wants his story out, and that's the issue.
Nima, what do you think the jury does with the stolen reptiles, that aspect of the case? Does that play more towards dirtying up the victim, or does it play more towards providing a motive for the defendant?
I think it dirties up the victim a bit, especially one of them that's been convicted. But ultimately, right, you're chasing after someone, right? You're hunting them down. You're defending property, right? It's no real, you can't use deadly force to defend property. So if those jurors are really following the jury instructions and they see self-defense, you have to be in reasonable fear of imminent serious bodily injury or death. I mean, the facts of this case just don't jive with that. So the jurors are following the law. I don't think they're going to buy this self-defense argument at all.
Kirk, $17,000 lizard. These are not like just regular reptiles. These are high-end exotic animals. Do you think that it plays into a motive, or does it play into the character of the victim here?
Well, I would disagree with Neem on that a little bit. I think it goes to the motive. I mean, because they're not different. They're both, working in this field, if you will. And it shows the motive. There's all this money involved. He probably feels disrespected. He's going to go over there with the victim's own mother and show him up and show him what's up, and have his own mom hold a gun at him. I mean, to me, this just reeks of machismo, and Eklund might be right. It might be the kind of machismo that's going to put him on the stand, and he's going to tell his story, and he was right in what he did. But like I say, in the end, I think he's going to find himself convicted of murder at the end of this trial.
All right, think tank not going anywhere. Oh, take a look. Trial begins Monday, folks. Monday, Wisconsin versus William Zelenski, right here on your front row seat to justice.